Hi guys, Nicole here from Stellar Marketing. Just wanted to go through a really quick 20-minute power session about brand projection. So this is part of the Modern Recruiter initiative of what it takes to be a successful modern recruiter in 2020. So today's session is all about propelling you as an industry expert in your field. What we want to do is secure more placements faster by shortening that recruitment cycle and being known as the expert in your field to create inbound opportunities. An analogy that I always use, think about yourself as a lighthouse in a desert. You could be creating all this great content, being very rhythmic, but you're yet to build your network. So what we're wanting to do is really leverage off Stellar's brands network plus other relevant recruitment consultants. So by taking 10 minutes 3 or 4 times a week, tagging Stellar's brand, which is about 35,000 followers strong, plus 3 or 4 consultants, say at 3,000 or 5,000 followers, you're potentially sharing your content to 50,000 plus people. Your professional brand is really your reputation. So what someone says about you when you're not in the room. By creating a backbone or a summary of your USP, so your unique selling points about why people do business with you, really creates that consistent message that we can project to market. So what I'd like to do now is take a couple of minutes to draw a line in the sand of how you're currently going with your professional brand and projecting that. So if you'd like to open up Google Chrome and search for LinkedIn Social Selling Index. Once you're on that page, click a button that says Get Your Free Score. It's a measuring stick of your existing professional brand, of how you find the right people, how you build relationships, so your email acceptances, rates and replies, plus seeing, liking and commenting on your existing content to date. Take a screenshot of this, because over the next couple of weeks, when we're really starting to post, you'll hopefully see an improvement of those scores, and it'll continue to develop as your recruitment journey continues and you're harnessing both your brand, projecting your brand, and increasing efficiencies across recruit tools. So the Social Selling Index is really a bit of a measuring stick on how you are in establishing your professional brand to date. So what your profile summary says about you, how you're finding the right people in search alerts, how you're engaging with them in one-on-ones through email response rates, how people are engaging with your content that you're currently posting. So the likes, the comments, the shares. By capturing it today, over the next couple of weeks, months, how we refine your activities, we'll be able to reflect on the improvements made. And if you can also share that with myself, we can track your journey as well and then further refine training sessions, whether they're one-on-one or even this group micro session that we're doing at the moment. What I want to do now is really just point out the 3 key takeaways from today, so that as we're going through this 20-minute power session, you're really seeing the relevancy of where we want to be. The first key takeaway is what I referred to in the previous slide. So really wanting to shorten that recruitment cycle and make those placements faster by maximizing your brand, plus creating those toolbox efficiencies. So creating efficiencies across LinkedIn, Trade Me and Seek. So how are we going to do this? We're going to do this by 3 key activities. We need to know your why, so your USPs, your unique selling points about why clients and candidates would do business with you. We'll do this on a one-on-one professional branding session, so if you haven't done that yet, send myself an email and together we'll undergo that process. 2, once we have that professional brand as a foundation, we really want to try and project that professional brand and project that reach, so grow your network of both talent and clients. This is done by getting into those rhythmic weekly actions. So those small rhythmic posts that you're doing to keep top of mind with clients and candidates, lightly touching the volume of your network. The third is working smarter, not harder. So over the next 2 or 3 months, and we've already had some sessions in the previous month, we'll really start to use our external partners, Seek, LinkedIn and Trade Me, to provide customized training sessions that are based on our own analytics, our usage analytics. So this is really about getting access to the top talent faster than our competitors. So what does a modern recruiter look like in 2020? Sean and Greg Savage actually did a really good podcast with great takeaways back in August. I'd really recommend you go back and listen to that if you haven't already. But breaking it down simply, it's really about 2 facets. It's about honing your recruitment craft, so those highly sophisticated human influencer skills, and then pairing that with technology, so making sure you're keeping up to date with the tools available, making those tools work effectively and efficiently for you. So this session, I really wanted to come down and break it down into your individual desk. So what are you trying to achieve across your desk that contribute to your KPIs? This will be different across every single desk, but basically it comes down to 2 things. Whether A, you're focused on clients, or B, you're focused on building relationships with job seekers. And it may be a combination of both. So what I'll do is I'll break it down to these 2 key stakeholders. One, from a client's perspective, so what you could be doing on your Rhythmic LinkedIn activity. It's finding out who your target audience you need to build, and then working with that end goal in mind. Where's the proof in how this works? So we've got a couple of things. We've got Stella-centric proof, and then we break it to different consultants and how they've made it work for them. 61% of people are more than likely to be responsive when approaching them for a particular position if they've been pre-exposed to either the Stella or your brand as a consultant. So it's really shortening down that recruitment cycle. Another reason of why brand projection is so important is that on average, people need to see consistent messaging up to 7 times before they start to recognize you and what you stand for. So when breaking it down to consultant desk, we're focusing on a group of consultants who have seen successes in the past. The first is Lucas. So Lucas is a big believer in manual job posting. So to give you a little bit more information, there's 2 ways that Stella jobs go on LinkedIn. One is manual posting, and the second is job wrapping. So job wrapping is where it comes and grabs an existing job on stellarecruitment.com and posts that job on LinkedIn. Lucas is a massive believer, as I said, in manual job posting, and this is for 2 reasons. One, you get a better geolocation compared to the job wrapping. And then you're also able to tag more relevant industries and skill sets to your job posts. Over the last 18 months, Lucas has received more volume and more job appropriate candidates by doing this. He's also now built a really good base of talent to then proactively go and target those when he has the right position for them. Steph and Clarissa, both from Corporate Services Brisbane, but they both have 2 very different ways of where they're seeing results. So Steph has really honed her skills on emails. So first she does an advanced search. This means she's really honing in on the right talent first off. Secondly, she follows that up with an in-mail. So in the in-mail, she really finds that the direct approach is the best approach for her target audience, which is executive. Straight away, it's job title, location, and salary, because she knows those 3 things will further qualify that person's response. Clarissa takes a slightly different approach. So Clarissa is more rhythmic in her LinkedIn approach. She's all about that rhythmic LinkedIn posting to show that she's active and she knows what's happening in the market. An example of this is called Web Expenses. She previously tried to email the decision maker. However, by adding him as a connection and rhythmically posting over 2 or 3 months of her activity. Once he had a role on, he actually approached her with the job opportunity. Since then, she's placed 3 people with Web Expenses and has 2 or 3 positions still yet to fill that she's working with them on placing. The next 2, both Kimberly and Matt, are again very content focused, but for 2 different reasons. Kimberly is all about projecting Stella's recruitment employer brand, as well as doing her own corporate services recruitment. Matt is all about clients and candidates, so giving people an idea of what he's up to. An example of this is his weekly updates that he does on a regular basis. In both cases, they have conversations with clients and candidates that is based on their LinkedIn activity. So Kimberly reports that she would have about 80% of her conversations include references to her LinkedIn activity, where Matt is at least 3 to 4 people have mentioned his client updates and how they find it insightful every single week. Again, it comes down to creating content that adds value to your target audience. So both of them have a very clear understanding about their target audience and posting content for them, rather than just posting constant job opportunities, which is AKA our sales pitches. Another 2 cases I really want to quickly touch on is Ange in the construction desk over here in Brisbane. She's tried something differently over the last month or so, where she's changed her time of email sending. So she was finding that with, for example, site managers who aren't at their desk from 9 to 5, she gets a really low acceptance rate. However, she's now started messaging them at 6 p.m, so when they're off the tools but they're on the phone. Over the last month, she's had a couple of interactions with different site managers where she's actually been able to secure them placements from sending emails at that particular time. So she's really discovered a cut through instead of being just the noise with the other recruiters with their bulk emails from 9 to 5. Another recruiter has recently experienced a massive drop rate in email acceptances. Now what he's tried to do with some great success is, instead of sending emails, sending personalized connection requests. He's then being able to message them directly through linkedin.com with particular opportunities. Again, it's just about trying different things, seeing what works for your key target audience and customizing your approach to what works and what doesn't. It's all about starting now. The backbone of your professional brand. So if you haven't done those one-on-one sessions, please reach out and we can go through that process together. And then about projecting that foundation brand. So starting to post in groups, starting to leave comments and share snippets. It's about documenting, not creating. So don't think that you have to create salary guides and massive industry reports or industry market trend reports. It's about documenting, not about creating. Examples of this would be anniversary, site visits, a hot candidate if you come across, sharing an NPS score, an industry update. The focus is adding value though to that target audience. So being that go-to resource that they come to when they have that opportunity. An example of a content strategy that you could adopt is the 411. So this is 6 posts a week, or potentially even a fortnight if that's too much initially. 4 pieces of original content documenting your life as a recruiter. 1 is about sharing, so sharing something else that you've seen in the market, so whether it's a good news story or a good market insight report that you've come across. And then the last one, so 1 out of those 6 posts is about a sales post, so a job post. It's about creating that engagement, not just about spitting out job opportunities when you have them. So this last slide is a good example of some really great successful posts that we've seen across both the recruitment industry and across Stellar as a company. So let's get to it. Challenge yourself over the next 2 weeks. Screenshot that social selling index number, send it to me, and keep it as a bit of a guide, and over the next couple of weeks starting to post. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Happy posting, guys. Thanks.